After my son died, my daughter-in-law kicked me out. At the will reading she sneered. You won't get a penny, I promise. The lawyer just smiled and said, there's one last clause. When he read it aloud, my daughter-in-law collapsed. You know that feeling when your entire world shatters? Mine did at my son's funeral, when his wife looked me dead in the eyes and basically said, your grief is an inconvenience and everything your son ever built is now mine. It was a cold March day, the kind where the wind cuts right through you, much like her words did. Dennis, my brilliant son, was gone, buried just 30 minutes prior. And there I stood, clutching a funeral program, trying to hold myself together, while his wife, Vera, scrolled through her phone like she was catching up on gossip. She spoke about Dennis like he was a burden she'd finally shed. A burden. My son. Vera. My voice cracked, raw from grief and the biting wind. We just buried my son. Show some respect for the dead. She looked up, irritation flashing across her perfectly made-up face. The few remaining mourners walking towards their cars had stopped talking. They were listening. Your son. She scoffed, a sharp, bitter laugh that cut deeper than the wind. He was my husband, Horace. And now everything is mine. The funeral program tore in my hands. My mind, an engineer's mind, always precise, couldn't process what I was hearing. 7 years. She'd stood beside Dennis for 7 years, vowed to love him in sickness and in health. And here she was, moments after we'd laid him to rest, talking about possession and ownership. What's wrong with you? I whispered, but it carried further than I intended. At least pretend you're sad. Tom Riley, Dennis's business partner, and his wife stared 20 feet away, their faces etched with undisguised shock. Martha Ellis, a kind neighbor, was already moving closer, her face pale with concern. Vera slipped her phone into her designer purse. Sad, Horace? I've been planning my new life for months. Dennis knew this marriage was over. We both did. That's not true. The words came out strangled. He loved you. She adjusted her expensive black coat, the one Dennis had bought her last Christmas. The cancer was convenient, she said, her voice chillingly casual. It gave me time to think, to plan. Now I can finally live again. Martha reached us just as Vera turned to walk away. Vera, please. This isn't the time or place. Actually, Martha, this is exactly the time. Her heels clicked against the concrete path. I've spent 18 months playing the devoted wife. I'm done performing. The remaining guests whispered, Mrs. Henderson from church shaking her head. Dennis's engineering team shuffled uncomfortably, avoiding eye contact. I watched Vera walk away, her stride confident, purposeful. She hadn't shed a single tear during the service. Not one. While I'd barely held myself together reading the eulogy, she'd sat in the front pew, checking her watch, tapping her manicured nails. Horace, are you all right? Martha's hand touched my shoulder. I couldn't answer. My throat felt raw, scraped clean by disbelief and a sickening anger. The woman Dennis had trusted with his life, his business, his love, she'd been counting the days until his death, planning her escape while he fought for every breath. The wind picked up, rattling the bare branches overhead. Vera reached her silver Mercedes, the one Dennis had surprised her with for their 5th anniversary. She didn't look back. Not once. Standing there beside my son's fresh grave, I wondered what Dennis would think if he could see her now. Full story on the channel. Link below. Click now and watch what happened next.